Hi there, welcome back to the channel. So, if you saw my unboxing of this Tesi kill switch, you'll know that I was intending to put it in the Sonics. And I did, I put one of these in here. So I ordered another one for this guitar, because this guitar, the Flying V, sounds amazing, but it's 50s wiring, and on a V they're all intertwined majorly. There's like very little separation, so it's hard to just like turn it off and get it quiet. So I wanted to put a kill switch in here, which I have now installed. You can see it right here. It's right there, and I think that's a pretty convenient spot. And there's very little space for it in this thing. It's a very tight routing. Like there's very little space right here where there's any room. And then there's like a long cavity where you have to run the wires through. So I actually had to extend the wires. And I'm including footage of me putting this on. So that was no big deal. But what I didn't realize when I ordered it, so I wanted to bring this up, is that this one, I had already ordered one, and I had ordered it as a latching switch, and I didn't even notice that. Luckily I had ordered a latching one, because what I was looking for was a switch that you just reach down and tap to get the guitar to go dead and just quiet, like between songs, or if there's a moment in the song where there's like a reason to go dead for a second, it's like an effect. But it's essentially goes dead, then comes to life again, right? Well, there's another, that's called the latching version of the Tesi kill switch. So here's the Tesi switch, here's the switch. I ordered originally the latching version, which went into the Sonics, so I wanted to put one in here. But this one is actually a momentary switch. So when you, and most people know what those are, I'm just dumb. But if you don't know yet about kill switches, the momentary one is like the buckethead thing, and I think a couple other guys, maybe Tom Morello does it, where it's like it makes like a ba 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 noise. It's like a Morse code. It's like continually stop starting, you know, and you hear that. It's like an oscillation type thing, and it's a cool effect. But what I was looking for this guitar was just a, you know, kill, back to life, kill, back to life, you know. So I wanted the latching one. So I realized once I got it in, oh, this one doesn't latch, you know, just as you can hear it. It just goes back and forth. Whereas this one, when you push down on it, stays in, release. So what I was thinking of doing is I've already ordered it. I ordered the version that's like this, that latches. I'm going to take this one out, and I'm going to probably put it in here where this mini switch is, which I haven't even wired up yet. And then I'll have the version that is the, what does it call it, momentary. And then I'll have the kill switch to just kill the sound. So one will be an effect and one will just be a tool. But anyway, on this particular guitar, there was not a lot of space to put this kill switch on. So what I did, took the scratch guard, the pick guard off, scratch plate, pick guard, whatever you want to call it. Took that off, and I knew I had to use many pots when I wired this, because there's just very little routing room. You could always do some rerouting inside if you wanted to, but the pickguard barely fits the route, and the route is tight. So I just went with the mini pots, and then the only real position I could find that this wouldn't look terrible or even have room, because it gets more narrow right here. It's like really up against the wood right here. Was right here. There's the most amount of space was right in this area, and I just kind of aesthetically made it work, where I kind of see it like creating another triangle, like a V here, and then it's like these are all three going this way, and it's sort of up here. I mean, it's just like OCD, like design mind, but aesthetics have to work for me, you know, or it gets on my nerves. So, and it's also convenient. It's like right where your hand naturally goes to the switch, like on a V. Well, it goes in different spaces depending on how you wire it, but here it's like down here, and then there's the kill switch right in place, so it's going to be a natural place to put my hand. But what I had to do, so I removed the pick guard, right, and I got a step drill. I started it with one, you know, just to get the hole going, and then I just stepped through and kept testing slowly. You know, I'd do a little drilling stop, try to get that switch in there and see if it's big enough. And this one I did a pretty good job. It looks pretty darn smooth if you look at it. If you look at it at every angle with light on it, you might see a little roughness in the plastic, but you can always use a little rubber washer or something, or another exterior washer and mount it that way. There's all kinds of things you can do, but I think I'm happy with the way this looks. So Once I got the step drill going through and got it big enough, I then just mounted it in. It comes with a nut to mount it. And I noticed that my wires, it comes with some nicely pre-tinned wires all ready to go, and you just pull the ends off. You don't even have to, use any tool or anything. And if you were going solderless somehow, there's your wires. But what I had to do was run the wires through here, which is a bit of a feat because there's not much room in that route, like I said. Although I could take a bit and go in there, because that would, but you could always make a mistake and scratch your guitar up. So I'd rather just try to work the wires in there. So I worked them down in there, but before I went in, or no, once I got in there, pulled the wires through, I then took another piece of wire, an extension, soldered that onto the original wire, brought some heat shrink around, heated up the heat shrink so it, was really fastened to that so that there's no exposed wire. I did that on both wires. And then the amazing thing about the kill switch, the soldering and the wiring part of it, is dead easy, simple as it can be. All you have to do is take your black wire and hook it on the ground, your white wire and hook it on the hot. And I don't think it matters if you flip it, because basically what you're doing is when you hit that switch, it's causing it to ground out and just the signal dies. And with the momentary one, it's doing it, but it's doing it, milliseconds, like an oscillating cycle. Just keeps going, turning on, turning off, turning on, turning off, turning on, turning off. Whereas this one is just turn on, turn off. So if you want a kill switch, it's very simple to wire it. You might have to do a little modification like I did on the Pickguard, but I really think it's cool to add a new functional thing to it, and it sets it apart from Gibson in my own little funky design. I got this weird kind of half exposed Pickguard. I now have a kill switch. Who knows, I'll maybe come up with something else to do. Probably not, there's so little room in here. But makes you think outside of the box a little bit. And highly functional, but it's very simple to wire. You might have to do a little Pickguard modification, but it's a good way to get good at soldering because it's just two little solders. I had to take this off, and then you just connect one to one leg and one to the other, doesn't matter which, but you go hot, on the hot side, the white one, and black on the ground side, just so you don't get mixed up. Easy as 1, 2, 3. All right, next time.